Sup guys, here today to do Bleach chapter 595 review titled Rub Dolls 2. Well, I'm sure that the title Rub Dolls is actually a Japanese way in some, well, seeing as though they have trouble pronouncing the word L, or the letter L I should say, because L doesn't exist in their alphabet. It's not in hiragana or katakana. So they normally substitute the L sound for the R sound because it's somewhat similar. So in this case, without getting too in-depth into it, rub dolls could be just considered love dolls. So that's an interesting title in my opinion, and that's my take on why the title is the way it is, rub dolls too. But in this chapter of Bleach, right, this guy PePe, he showed up last chapter, and he took control of Hisagi. Byakuya picked it up pretty easily. He also took control of one of the other Sternritters, and they began attacking each other, but that action was pretty much overlooked. The action that was focused upon in this chapter was the fight between Byakuya and Hisagi. This guy PePe, right? His whole entire power revolves around love, right? He's basically saying that the reason why people go to war, the reason why any disputes happen, faith is love, everything is done in the name of love. So love is his power, right? Which from his perspective, some of it does make sense. So from the perspective of from a logical perspective, right? Thinking about the words he's saying in a philosophical manner, it has some truth to it. So I'll give it that. And also in regards to his power, he shoots out these type of heart-shaped beams, and if you get hit by them, you actually fall under his control. So Hisagi was hit by it, and Hisagi is now fighting Byakuya, right? He fired off. So in that fight, Byakuya pretty much disabled Hisagi to an extent that Hisagi couldn't move anymore, and then he wanted to attack PePe head on it himself. So when he was trying to attack PePe, PePe was pretty much laying out these heart-shaped beams at him so that he would get under control, and then Byakuya made a mistake to use his Zanpakuto to pretty much block the attack. And as we know, Zanpakutos in Bleach, they are their own entities, they are their own beings, so they do have hearts. So because he used the Zanpakuto to block PePe's attack, that Zanpakuto came up back to strike and attack him, and apparently he got injured, but we don't see where on his body the injury was, because we didn't see a cut mark of where he got struck, but there was blood spilled in that attack. So after that point, his Byakuya threw away his Zanpakuto, saying that it's useless, he won't use it anymore. Kinda somewhat similar to his fight with Zuma Mori, that the number 7th Espada. Somewhat similar to that fight where he was pretty much injured, and or rather he was fighting against someone who could manipulate others and also manipulate your own body, and he cut his own tendons when he got hit by Zuma Mori's attack to disable his body from attacking or moving against his will. So it's kind of ironic that he's now fighting someone who has similar powers in that regard. So he basically threw away the Zanpakuto. Hisagi took up back the Zanpakuto, still being controlled by the enemy, and began attacking Byakuya again. And then we see this internal monologue from Byakuya saying that it was a mistake of him to just throw it away. He should have just break it apart using Senmon Zakura, which I believe was the better choice in my opinion. And he's there fighting Hisagi. PePe came behind him, shot him with that love beam, so he should have been controlled, but he wasn't for some reason. I guess Byakuya overpowered his powers through his sheer willpower and his determination. So PePe saw that he wasn't affected by his abilities. PePe got mad. PePe transformed into his complete holy form, which is this Cupid looking form like thing, right? And he used what is called a love rope to pretty much immobilize Byakuya. And when Hisagi was going to go in to strike, he said, "No, Hisagi, wait, I want to kill myself." He takes out this the same Cupid looking arrows from Cupid's that we normally see. Takes out that shit from his mouth, and he was ready to shoot it out at Byakuya, only out of nowhere to get hit in the face by a foot, right? And who do we see show up? We see Kensei and the other guy, Otobarashi. Yeah, Kensei and Otobarashi, right? The last time that we saw them, they were being controlled by Giselle, but apparently they are no under Mayuri's control because they just attacked PePe, which is another fellow Sternritter. So Mayuri and his guys already dealt already dealt with Kensei, Otobarashi, and Rangeku, right? That was pretty fast. So they have no, right, although being zombies, right? So not being 100% conscious in their own right, they are now going to sorry, somehow intervene in this fight. I'm sure that they will help out Byakuya in some way, shape, or form. But this is pretty crazy, right? They were being controlled by Giselle first, right? Mayuri gained back control over them, so it's like a double whammy effect, kind of overkill if you ask me, right? These guys first they were on the Sternritter side, now they're back on the Shinigami side. I mean, what's going to happen next? If this guy takes control over one of them, then they're back on the Sternritter side. This is crazy. But overall, I thought that it was a good chapter of Bleach. I'm interested to see where all of this is going down. On another note, right? Apparently, at this time, what is also supposedly supposed to go down is currently Yuha is supposed to be in the Soul King's palace. So I'm interested to see what is going on with that fight against Kirinji, because Kirinji is supposedly going to take on all three of them at once by himself. So I'm curious to see what will happen in that fight. But overall, that's it. That's my review. Remember to rate, comment, subscribe. Sayonara.